out and execute it as perfectly as they can because they want to get that early momentum, get that first cap on the board.
Absolutely, yeah. First move is everything. It sets the pace, especially when you have some emotional players like you'll have, especially from this GMS squad. I wouldn't expect to have as much of an emotional roller coaster from this TOX squad, even though I would consider someone like APG to ride those waves a little bit. But you know, the rest of that other squad the rest of the TOX squad is very stoic. In most cases, they're not gonna get too crazy and out of control when things are going their way, and they're also not getting down.
But I think that's gonna feed into APG, honestly. Because he's playing with his friends. There's some comfort there. I think it all just works out very well for him, but we're on board with Lethul's POV. By the way, got to shout out the Balenciaga hat they can pay $200 for in London. Don't know why he would do that. Eco, though, he made some $200 play, and he gets that first cap in. Just had to roast PJ there first. Actually, it's not really more of a roast. It's a nice hat. But that is going to be cap number 1 for TOX. They started this one out strong.
Yes, and also just still racking the skills, just picking players apart on each side. Zerka falling. That was also Gabriel falling. But looks like Fantasy still has some control of Pink Tower, so all is not lost. So interesting to see how Eco plays this one. Does he just sit back and lay down shots across the map, or does he decide to go for a and try to get inside the GMS base?
Well, APG on your screen now is going to get eliminated by Gabriel. Snakebite playing down low. Eco across the map, putting shots forward, and hopefully giving his teammates time to come off of the respawn, and that's what's happening here. GMS have not really been able to push inside of the enemy base. They're around it. They show themselves from time to time, but really no more movement, just kind of holding them back. But at the very least, that's a good thing. Then you get Lethul, who secures a double kill, and it all kind of just goes down the drain at that point.
Yeah. TOX are looking really strong. Also, you can kind of tell the way that they're going to play this map. They are going to make sure that they secure each side. They're going to get these slays. They aren't going for just one random person pushing across the map, going for a pull. You notice how all three of these players constricting in over on the GMS base and pushing in all at the same time.
And another flag pull here. That's going to be 4 down. And look for the respawns. Lethul, he's going to see them coming out of base. He's waiting for it. He knows they're on that P side, pink side here. 2 players and Lethul
curves the bullet right there.
Oh,
Paying
boy.
that player, Gabriel, over in top pink. First off, Lethul wasn't looking over at blue side pink because he's more concerned about someone potentially spawning pink 1. Once he heard call-outs to someone going over towards Blue Needle and such, then he was more comfortable going that direction. But look at the rotation. That veteran decision-making come out. Lethul realizing now is the time to give up pink. He realized his teammates were going to pull that flag again and could have potentially used some extra support over in level 2 of the base.
This is very impressive from TOX, the way that they're shutting down GMS. That's going to be 3 captures that TOX have, and it honestly just kind of went along with a whimper. There was no pomp or circumstance for any of it. They just capped it, and it's just some amazing play here. They're locking down Heretic and not allowing GMS any kind of ground whatsoever.
Yeah, my faith is starting to slowly dwindle here in this GMS squad based on the start. It just feels like TOX is a dominant team. It feels like every single step of the way. It feels like they're winning their individual fights. It feels like they're playing their game. It doesn't feel like they're confused about where they should be going, what they should be doing. It feels like they're on the same page. So, yeah, my faith, like I said, is being restored into the TOX squad and get a little lost here in this GMS squad, at least based on this first game.
That actually was pretty funny. A stick went on him, and then he ended up sticking Snakebite in turn.
And you can also actually insta once you get stuck, GB. Did you know this? You can get stuck, and if you time it right, if you waited just a little bit longer, you could have insta instead of going for that stick. So what would have played different there is that player would have died just a half second earlier. You know, take every advantage you can, GB.
I really wish that we could go one game without talking about instants, but, you know, I mean, here we are. Darn to it. Okay, so 3-0 scoreline for TOX versus GMS. Flag's going to be away from base now. APG has been playing great, by the way. He's just initiating these pushes, getting the first pick. And although he is taken out there, he was putting shots across map, allowing Eco to be able to push up like this. If he can take out Fantasy, who just was trying to stay as alive as he possibly could. He was strong siding out of there, showing his back to his opponent. But that's going to be a flag cap for GMS. They now managed to put one on the board, but it was very difficult for them to do so. And they're going to look to run it back, though. Now, this is where things are going to start to get interesting, Dave.
Yeah, I just keep flip-flopping on how I'm feeling with these teams. This is such a great play here from Goofy and the GMS squad, trying to just double up on those caps. Gabriel obviously not forcing back towards the space, try and lay down a few shots across the map and help support and stop this counter cap.
Yeah, they just need to hold it down, lock down your base. These players got really aggressive on the car side. You saw at least 2 bodies there, and Gabriel not abandoning this position, but TOX, they have to take him out of here, so it's up to his team members to also have his back as he circles around this pink side. Pink 2, pink 3, floats around here and sees if he can get the upper hand.
Yeah, also Gabriel forced so much aggression there and desperation from the TOX squad. You notice how even that player jumped out of front pink 2 towards pink 3, and it's just one of those desperate plays where they're saying, I'm willing to sacrifice my life just to take out this player, and the times where you don't get that kill and don't get the trade is incredibly frustrating.
I want to also comment, though, on that flag, because they brought that flag straight to TOX. They were inside of the base, and 2 members of TOX spawned Carbine. Because of that play, that led to what we're seeing right now. TOX are looking to put their 4th cap in, and they do so successfully.
Yeah, TOX just looking strong, even when they're on the back foot. Feels like sometimes just getting the crucial kills, the kills they need to. Despite that one time not working out so well over in pink 3, it feels like they're still getting the stops from the flag carrier. Feels like they're getting so much damage. There was a nice
that was actually
Gabriel.
Yeah, that was a really nice instant, Dave. You're allowed to talk about why that one was so awesome.
Yeah, it was sick. Dude, the instas, these players honestly aren't even using them to the fullest extent. Like, you can do so much damage. You can basically guarantee a kill on Eli. You can do so much damage in so many different situations. But at the same time, too, these players obviously worrying about playing this in a team game. They're more focused on getting a lot of these cross-map shots across the map. And
it's different when you talk about 2v2s versus 4v4, right? Because there's so much more going on. There's so many more bodies around the map. By the way, Eco, he's moving around like it's a jungle gym over here. That 4th cap goes in, or 5th cap goes in, and that is going to be 5-1 TOX. Out of the gate looking strong. I mean, they started the game practically up 2-0.
Yeah, and they were just in full control, at least early on. Obviously, we saw a little bit of life out of GMS at one point in the center. It felt like they almost got a near double cap. They were getting some slaves. FFantasy was doing a great job staying alive during that period of time. However, it just felt like TOX were able to once again get control and close that out. A previous series before this, though, we did see Denial losing game number 1, and it started to look kind of sketchy. So maybe this is a potentially bad game type for GMS, or I don't know. It's really tough to always chalk that up.
Well, got to look at the game itself, right? I mean, the way it started, it wasn't. Yeah. There was like a great initial start from Status Quo when they played in their matchup against Denial, but this one, it really just felt like no matter what, GMS were never really able to engage a fight as a full 4. They were always, as soon as the fight started, they were just down a guy, and there really wasn't much that they could do. And they're going up again, and I want to chalk that up to APG, by the way, because he was initiating a lot of those initial fights and winning those over by the pink side. And then you had Eco picking up the flack as well. Like, there were some good moments there, and it really just, GMS never got a groove. When they got a groove, they got a cap.
Yeah, and also when they got their groove, they also tried to stretch themselves a little thin. Like, at one point, I'm commending them for saying, hey, they got near double cap time, but maybe that's also a bit of desperation instead of saying, hey, if they're not in great position or great control in order to get this 2nd cap, some points, when in doubt, slay it out.
Yeah, well, that is going to do it for game number 1. Heretic will go to TOX 5-1. Now, we're going to make our way over to Slayer on Narrows, and, you know, I guess that, you know, for a lot of these players here, Narrows this is going to be another, in my mind, this is going to be a close game. I think that this is the opportunity for GMS to be able to bounce back here, tie this series up 1-1, get comfortable. A lot of pressure on them here. They're going up against, you know, world champions. These guys have won so many events back-to-back. This is a great team.
Yes, and also, like we said before, too, I feel like GMS can also be just based on their overall tournament experience for you know, half the team or so. You would argue that they're going to be a bit more emotional players and not have that same sort of experience on the stage, whereas TOX, they're completely comfortable there right now. So what I'm mainly getting at here is GMS would love to have gotten off to a better start, come out a little bit stronger and getting dominated in game number 1, 5-1.
Even if you lose 5-4, it's like, oh, that sucks. But like at the very least, you know that you're competing, right? I think that's kind of how I felt in that Denial status quo game. Denial lost, but you know they were competing. It was a great matchup for both teams. And now this is where maybe GMS can get things going and they can win this one out, though, as the game starts off early on. And looking at who has snipers, Goofy has a sniper for GMS, and as far as snipe for TOX, it seems like no one has the weapon right now.
That's a bit odd. So I'm trying to see if anyone TOX just they get flanked on through. Did they decide to forego grabbing the sniper at the beginning? I can't imagine them just not grabbing their sniper at the start. But I'm trying to take a look over there, and it does look like they forewent. Yeah, they didn't grab their sniper immediately. Instead, they maybe opted to have that extra BR firepower in the top side of the map, which
a delayed sniper grab.
No, I agree with it or not. I mean, it's a little odd too because they also didn't get control of those rockets. Maybe they just decided to not challenge bottom center at all, and they can assume that they are going to have at least a 1 to 2 person advantage on top, assuming that the team sends 1 for sniper and potentially a second for rockets.
But that also, I mean, I would love to talk to PJ after that and ask him if this was intentional, because you never know.
Yeah, it could just be like, who's grabbing that snipe, man? I know you're going to run for it anyway.
Yeah, and then no one says anything, and then the weapon's still there, and then that's it. But it is Snakebite, it is TOX. It had to have been planned out the way that they did that. And it has led to them getting an early lead, but it's a close game. 9-8 currently, as Zerka, as well as another member of GMS, are going to be there to put Snakebite in his place. Lethul with the follow-up. Goofy's going to run away with this snipe. He has the rockets as well. He used one of those. The rockets have no more ammo left, and APG's just going to fly away. He nails one, and if you managed to get away with that, that would have been nasty. But it was a good effort. Valiant effort, my friend.
I mean, it's exactly what you need to do in that situation, though. You have sniper. They know exactly where you're at. You need to try to get that back towards your half. Don't try to be a hero and hit some sort of no-scope and stay alive on their side. Just bring it on back. Worst case happens, you die, and sniper's back on your half of the man cannon. Something
to note, the way TOX are playing, they're ensuring that every respawn they're getting value. They're getting a kill, right? Every player has, if they lose a guy, there's a follow-up. Even if they fall right away, they still maintain the lead. That mental lead that you have, just that one, is enough to keep you going in this game in a positive fashion. You're not climbing, you know, the hill, so to speak, like GMS are. Every single time GMS get a kill, they tie it up. TOX answer right back.
Yeah, and that's such a tough scenario too, because obviously in a map and game type like this, you want to get that Slayer too, and then you want to be able to get control top center and get them spawn killed and spawn trapped. But it feels like every single time we're just going trade for trade in this neutral game, it feels like TOX is a bit more comfortable.
I'm just going to say I'm fairly certain that was a ricochet shot off the floor onto that weakened player. Guy was already weak. It's still pretty damn awesome if that was the case. Fantasy, though, and GMS have taken the lead 22-20. Can they hold on to this one as Fantasy gets challenged, and that's going to take him out of scope. Eco gets a double kill. He's going to get the triple kill. He's looking for the over, but he's not going to find it. You see him immediately looking around.
Just scanning real quick, trying to go on the offensive, get some spawn traps. But it looks like GMS got at least some decent spawns over in their lobby side because Fantasy was already over at R3/L3. Those players got some decent spawns.
They lifted over immediately. They made sure they didn't let them ride any kind of momentum. Still, though, it's going to be a 1-kill game back in favor of TOX. Great rocket onto Zerka. Doesn't follow up with any damage on Fantasy. Gabriel gets to pick up low, and that's going to be Snakebite. Takes the face of Fantasy. Knows a player's going to be around here. He's going to wait this one out. Just have that knowledge. Goofy, he's one shot, and he's trying to stay alive, but he's in such a rough spot here, and caught in the air. Really didn't have many choices on that. And now TOX is trying to build upon this lead, Dave.
No, also, yeah, Goofy was getting collapsed on from 2 different spots, but some strategy that a lot of players will still do, though, is go down to that bottom power-up, even though it feels like you're cornering yourself. You can actually grab the plasma grenades down there. It's a separate insta. Not even joking.
Word.
Secondly, you can hide in that cubby hole, and you force that player, if they don't have any frag grenades, to run all the way around that corner to shoot you before your shields come back. So there's actually a good chance you get your shields back in that scenario because most players will usually preemptively throw their frag grenades over towards bottom flag or bottom man can side there, and then not have that frag grenade for if you went all the way to power up.
A lot of opportunities you can have to get out of a sticky situation here. Goofy did his best, but we move forward here, 34-32. Fantasy right in front of Snakebite. That's going to be a killing spree, and Gabriel shuts it down before he can build up even more momentum. Goofy on the other side, and all of GMS are just stacked here against TOX. And they're kind of doing the same thing. Every single time that's a double for Goofy. Every time that they have a player off respawn, they're getting some kind of value. They're keeping themselves in this game. But TOX, they're just that little bit ahead, 38-39 now, to 36. And Lethul has the enemy sniper. He's got to run away with this one.
Yeah, and I think he got a little fortunate there by missing that man can immediately, because I think those players were looking for him right away, and now he was able to actually regain his shield and get this all the way back towards his side instead of dropping that potentially completely off the map. So now we're in a situation. TOX have two snipers.
They do.
Yes, they do. Lethul and Snakebite. Just
a lot of ammo.
Near the attic and back to the base. First goal for TOX right now is they need to clear out their base. As soon as they clear this out, they're going to be in such a comfortable position with these snipers to be able to put damage across top center.
GMS, though, applying the appropriate pressure, not allowing TOX to be able to set up. Lethul, though, gets a double kill on Gabriel and Goofy, and that's the opening that TOX needed. And now they can get those snipers in a position where GMS are simply just not going to be able maybe to get those rockets. Oh, wait, what happened? A player popped up behind. Zerka gets a double. Zerka with the triple kill on APG.
That is so huge. It's exactly what GMS needed to get in this game. It started to look dire, seeing how TOX had two snipers, had everything set up. They were looking prime and in perfect position. But
they have
just
rockets.
That little bit right there brought them back into this game.
They have rockets, but oh no, they don't stay alive. He's gonna fall with the rockets, and those are just instant kills that he could have picked up. 48-46 now, the pressure is on for GMS. Can they bring it back? Lethul has one rocket in the chamber, and that could be the 49th kill, and that could be the nail in the coffin for game 2.
Yeah, I think Lethul ideally is going to try to push this down low, or he's just going to hold it and try to get a pick on pocket. Like I said, ideal scenario is pushing that underneath, because then you can get an easier pick over on L2 or R2 when a player's on one of those ramps. But now that's more of a standstill state, it's kind of risky to make that solo push. So I could imagine Lethul either waiting for some bigger distraction to make that movement, or just sitting back and letting GMS come to him.
Well, there goes the 49th kill. Zerka, he has the game in his hands, but the pressure is on, because they need to get 4 kills before TOX just needs to get 1. Snakebite's going to be in the back of the base. You see Lethul on the flank, finds Goofy, and that's going to do it. Game over. TOX go up 2-0.
Got to give so much props to Zerka there at the end, almost bringing his team back into it. In fact, I would argue that despite being down a couple kills at the end, I felt like GMS actually were in the better position. They had, 9 bullets in that sniper. They had the full set of rockets there in the hands of Gabriel. It just felt like a couple things did not go their way at the end. Yeah, and it's an unfortunate series of events, right? Had Zerka been able to stay alive, right? And you can't really even fault him, because there were so many players that were just around him. Like, you're just making a play to try and get control, to try and wrestle control of the game back, and then they slowed things down. But I think that TOX, they made a smart play by sending Snakebite on that lift. Snakebite flies over, and then at that point, GMS are like, oh crap, he's here. We got to find him, and he's running around the base. He manages to get behind him, and a perfect flank there from Lethul. Lethul gets that rocket kill. There was just great coordination from TOX to shut down game 2. Yeah, a couple sick trips from both sides of the aisle here between GMS and TOX. That one from Eco was just nasty. Yeah, this was a great game. Such a close matchup, too. The lead changed numerous times. It was a 1-kill game for so long, but the little details, and this was a sick triple from Zerka with that follow-up on APG. I love it whenever you see the triple. Players immediately. It's literally a triple happens.
Where is it at?
And you see the aim just moving left to right. You know that they're thirsty.
You just check every door, like, I just checked this one, but just in case you're back there.
Just in case. Someone wants to get that nasty over, because they know that the camera's on them, right? You hear the crowd, you know that the camera's on them. Anyway, So let's look at the series layout. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is a great game. TOX versus GMS, some of our top-seeded teams here at the UGC Halo Classic. Make sure you go on Twitter, use that hashtag Halo Classic to talk about who you think is going to win this game. Is GMS going to be able to get the reverse sweep and come back starting with Construct King of the Hill, or will TOX end it with a 3-0 right here, right now, and allow me and Dave to go to Applebee's? Just saying, we're really hungry.
We have missed out on dinner, and we cannot wait to eat. But I am more excited, though, for this upcoming game, because if this goes the distance, it'll be well worth the wait.
Yeah, you know, because you get to a point, right, where, like, it hits, like, game 3 and it doesn't happen, it's not a 3-0, then at that mind, you like, accept it in your brain.
That sizzling chicken and shrimp still going to be there
Exactly.
later tonight.
You're right, Dave. They close at 1 a.m. All right, here we go. It is now time for game number 3. Let's see if TOX will end this one. But I think GMS have plenty of fight left in them as we go to King of the Hill Construct. And Lethul playing around this pillar nicely. He gets a double, and I really just like the movement there, Dave.
Yeah, and reading not only where that player is potentially going, but also seeing the spawns of 2 of those players in open left. So obviously going to give his teammates all that information, and interesting to see how APG plays this one out. In most cases, I feel like the sniper would go unnoticed had it lifted up immediately, but maybe he's just playing extra safe and letting his teammates lead the way. Because anytime you get that on one of the streets, you're just a force to be reckoned with.
APG with a awkward play here, but that's going to be the immediate kill onto Goofy. There was another player by the river. Eco makes quick work of Zerka. Hill still no one in the hill right now.
No, team's just going for slays. Even though this bomb hill is considered a scrappy hill like we talked about before, where you're more inclined to just get a few seconds, die, stop them from getting as many scrappy seconds. In many cases, you don't want to just be the first one to die in that chain of events. You don't want to just give up that free kill or sorry, that free death. In most cases, you want to have a reason to go into that hill. You want to say, all right, I laid down damage on this opponent. That means I now have at least one small advantage for our team before going to this hill and potentially dying.
APG has held this sniper down here the entire time. It's allowed his teammates to spawn in.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
But here's the thing. They have a player, they allow GMS to get control of the hill because they're setting up for the next one.
Yeah, so maybe that was overall part of the plan in timing.
It's like giving that sense of comfort, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. I still feel like if he, I would have to ask him and see what his mindset was during that 7 events, because maybe he just felt like he can do so much more damage down there since he's already with his teammates. But I'm always a big proponent on Construct. When in doubt, get onto the top of the map. That way you make sure your teammates are getting top spawns, can help you out.
I don't think
helps
APG
you
saw
out.
APG did not see the overshield pushing up on the ramp, and because of that, he was able to go in and eliminate everyone around that hill.
That's just a disconnect within their team.
Oh, my word.
That's just a disconnect within their team, though. Obviously, they did not have the coordination to know who was watching open ramp at that time, whether that was the hill person's responsibility, whether it was the person at top gold, or whether it was just a perfect series of events from members of GMS attacking from multiple angles and not every angle being able to be watched.
Yeah, I mean, that's just unlucky timing, you know? You're not always going to get every single moment, right? And even if you're patrolling around, it's that one moment that is going to be the difference maker here. But GMS, they're getting some points on the board. 53 as of right now. Continue to maintain control on the high ground, but TOX are starting to push up. That's going to have to prompt Goofy to go low to high and fight Snakebite. Rockets are going to be available, but Snakebite gets out of there, and he's going to get killed by Lethul. So Lethul had Snakebite's back. Now he can go up on the gold lift and see if he can protect his squad member by the hill.
And this is going to be dangerous here for GMS if TOX are able to get one more kill or so and set this up, because having to full set Rockets in the purple lifts, especially when 2 people are up there, being best friends, as I like to call it, go up lifts at the exact same time. You never want to give that 2-for-1 with the Rockets.
And you know that the Rockets have to be by the hill. They have to be, right? He got away with it. You didn't see Snakebite's name pop up in the kill feed, so surely he's going to be around there. And you go up holding hands, and then you go back to the respawn screen holding hands.
Best friending, that's for sure.
No, you never want to see that, man. Well, okay, so let's look now. Snakebite, just this guy's getting everything. You look, he's got a sniper. You look, he's got rockets. Now he's going to have the overshield. And Gabriel's like, nope, not dealing with that one. But Goofy, he wants to take the challenge. He's going to get that melee, and he's going to manage to stay alive.
Trade there. I felt like Goofy had the lunge, and I assume he would have had the connect, and I felt like Snakebite had taken enough damage where it should have been a trade scenario, so not exactly sure how Goofy did not get that trade there, but Snakebite's going to be happy with that as him and the rest of this TOX roster are setting up near this bomb center hill.
As we say in Overwatch, my friend, unlucky.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. That's it. You know, sometimes that's really what it just boils down to. It's unlucky. Maybe we get a C9. Who knows? Anything's possible here. But all right, 77 to 63, and we're back down to that lower hill, scrappy hill, as Walshy put it. And last time, there really just wasn't a lot gained out of it. I think it was like 40, under 50 points, I think, total was earned in that bottom hill. But it was also because you had APG with the sniper in gold, like back gold lift, that was not allowing anyone to really get anything there.
And just look how the cycle of fights go when this hill is in the bottom center, or on the bottom half of the map. If the team gets pushed all the way towards the bottom center, so like we saw from TOX, where they had a couple members down, and GMS had the hill, they aren't just going to solely attack from that main ramp. Instead, they're going to lift on up. They're going to get someone over towards sword side so that they can attack from a couple angles. So that was really important there for TOX to just get that rotation in. They had to at some point kind of flip a coin and say, all right, I think I'm safe to go up this lift. Sometimes you choose wrong and sometimes it doesn't work out, but it's the risk you have to take.
GMS now have the lead, 95-89. Zerka has been putting a lot of shots into the body. Gets that kill on Lethul, but he does not get the kill on the player that's on the high ground. Over to Gabriel's POV now. And they're getting, they saw it, they were going for it. That tells me that they don't have a clear idea of the timing. Now they should have a better idea of it because they just saw
yeah, they should have near exact timing there for
But it was clear they were a couple seconds off.
They're a little off, or it could also just be straight up mispositioning. Just because there's gonna be plenty of times too when you know exactly when the power up comes up, but you just can't get there in time. You could try to forcefully run straight there, but in most cases you might just give them death. So I don't know exactly what the circumstances there, but yeah, like you said, now they almost certainly have the exact time.
Lethul's going to go down. It's going to be up to Snakebite here, who won't be able to stand tall. APG backs up, and GMS, they're going to get bodies in the hill yet again, and they're going to be in some great spots. Full setup, exactly. Yep. I was just about to say, full setup, not going to allow TOX to get any kind of ground here.
But two members get taken out at top gold. I don't know exactly how that one played down. If that was a couple members at TOX, or if someone from TOX just got absolutely clutch. That was just looking like, you said, GMS was getting for near full setup. They had someone over at sword to see if anyone was going to try to sneak up the legs. That player who's over at sword can rotate to either purple if it's just the ideal situation. But as soon as you start to see your strong point falter, as soon as you see people die at gold, it's all over.
The trade out by Gold Lift. And APG gets melee from behind, so the back whack catches him off guard, and those are the call-outs. You start to see APG just trying to communicate with his team, let him know someone popped up behind us, and now Goofy's going to be sitting inside of the hill. His teammates, they need to set up. They need to set up and allow them to get back in this game as they're down 144 to 126. Great nade placement, and that's going to shut down the push, and that's where things get really dicey here on Construct, because there just are not many ways for you to push up or to be able to get positions. You got to go up these freaking lifts, and you don't have many choices. Once again, there's still ladders, not walls.
There still is a certain strategy between going up the lifts as far as timing goes, making sure you're not doubling up on the same grenade, making sure that if you are going to go up in a pair, you want to go up, like I said, spread apart enough that you both aren't getting hit by the same grenade, but also close enough that this other player is not going to be able to like take out your first opponent, your first teammate, and then throw a second grenade. You need to find that perfect timing window between those two areas.
Now this is where we see if this is the plan, if this is the strategy. So he goes up the lift, he saw his teammate die, realized that there was a player that was more than likely called out, and now he's doing what we expect, getting the clean angle, looking over the hill, and letting his team push into the hill.
Yeah, one of the reasons you can usually get away with bringing Snipe over towards top gold when it's at this bottom hill is because generally no other player has much of an incentive to be over near top gold. You don't have angles or anything else. Your BR is relatively ineffective when you're that far away from the hill. So in most cases, players are going there either for some sort of flank, if they got some sort of spawn, or if they're trying to, like you said, deal with that sniper player. So that's why a lot of times players can actually bring that sniper there, and why I think it's not usually a bad play to bring that up when you're on the bottom half of the map.
Also, APG, shout-outs to him, because when he realized that that was not a winnable fight, he had the sniper, and luck of the draw there, the sniper ended up toppling over the edge on Sword, so no one was able to get the sniper, and which would have been really, really difficult for TOX to have to deal with, because I think he had a couple bullets left in it too.
If you ask me, it's kind of cheap and greedy, man. I think I don't like that style of play. I think he should have played with honor and let the other team have the sniper, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Dave, I mean, okay, oh, what? Fantasy. He went for the melee, but the game gave him the hard debate, and he ends up dying. You hate to see it happen, folks. Oh, goofy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if Fantasy got caught a little bit on the geometry there in Sword side, or if that was just like the random sort of
that was the old Golden Boy melee. Old Golden Boy, where it's just completely ineffective and kind of annoying. Great stick, though. It's going to remove the overshield from the game as of right now. 182 to 153. If the game keeps going like this, TOX will win. They'll win 3-0.
I can also talk about how great of a play that was from Lethul. A lot of people will look at a stick scenario like that and be like, all right, yeah, that's just, a lucky stick or player set up for that. But Lethul intentionally lining that straight up. Clearly, if it was any other player besides the OS, he would not have gone in just straight for a stick. He would have backed down, thrown a grenade, got his BR advantage and won that fight on the individual thing. But as soon as he realized it's OS, he decided to just take his life with him.
He knew he had no other choice, right? Because the battle rifle wasn't going to do enough damage.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get the kill any other way. But
so if you get the stick, great. If you don't, whatever, right?
Well, yes and no. What I was saying is he went for such a high percentage stick right there, since that player's trajectory was already caught by that gold left. So it wasn't like that player could change direction and avoid the stick. So that's why it wasn't like a risky random stick. Because in many other situations, if that player was not lifting up, I bet Lethul would be going in for shots / melees first before going for any sort of plasma grenade. That way, his other teammates are not running into somebody who is just a full overshield person. You need to do some damage to the overshield. You can't just all go for random sticks unless they're a high percentage play like Lethul did right there.
Off the heels of a double kill, Snakebite and company are going to continue to hold the lead. 193-177. A double kill for Eco as well, but he won't stay alive. He had no shields. Lethul, though, finds Fantasy in front. Fantasy, though, going right back to the perp lift, and he will not be long for this world, but there is going to be some help there, and Lethul doesn't stay alive. And now GMS, they simply just need to hold a setup, but he goes.
Unfortunately, as soon as they get that setup, it's
well,
like,
I was gonna say,
it's like, oh, all these members of TOX aren't here anymore. I wonder where they're at, as APG's powering up his new overshield. So, yeah, obviously, it seems like they are a little off on some of those rotations, and clearly off with this overshield. Obviously, Royal One on top of these times for this TOX squad, and despite previously when GMS clearly had a near exact time, it doesn't feel like they've been able to use anything with that information. Not able to turn that power-up information timing to actual acquisition.
Avoided that powered-up plasma pistol. When you charge it up all the way, it takes out the overshield instantly. And APG counting his lucky stars there, he didn't get tagged by. That allows him to be able to push forward with his squad, so that this way they can remove players in the high ground. And they still hold this lead. Doesn't stay alive. Eco, another double kill for him. Let's see what they're going to do now. Sniper in the hands of Lethul, but the Rockets are going to ensure that he is not long for this world. And Eco drops down to handle Gabriel, the VR battle in play. That's going to be the end of Gabriel's spree. Doesn't follow with the double as Zerka cleans him up. They're trying to get as much scrap time as they can, and it's working, because they're going to come back into this game, Dave.
So oddly enough, a lot of times when you are trading fights or just trading damage from like bottom of sword towards the hill, it's really not that unfair of a fight for the people in the hill, as long as they have the numbers there in the open. The time when it really starts to hurt you here in Construct Hill, or on this bottom hill, is when they actually have the multiple angles. If they all just keep attacking like sword / bomb rockets, it's really, like I said, not that disadvantageous of a situation, because you're both trading damage, but you're getting time during that.
This game is so close, Walshy. 1 minute, 2 seconds left. There is no clear winner. And APG did not clean up Zerka. Zerka's still going to be alive. Can he stay? Oh, but Lethul. Lethul gets the kill. The hill is now moved, and the action's going to continue here on the close side of the map.
And this is such a tough situation. You see all these members from GMS pushing over here on Close Street, desperately trying to get this close lift and just trade after trade. But Eco, playing a little bit more cautious, playing a bit more patient, decides to scrap up this OS as he's going to move on over towards top gold and help TOX get control of the hill.
And did you see that play from Eco as well? He looked over at his teammate's screen to see if there was going to be anyone hanging out in the lift when he jumped up, so that he would not get back whacked. He would actually get some value out of that overshield. Few seconds left on the clock. It's getting to that point where it's mathematically impossible, but TOX have done the deed, and they're going to be moving on in this competition in the upper side of the bracket. GMS going to loser's bracket, but still a great game of Construct King of the Hill that went down to the wire.
Yeah, what a well thought out battle from both those sides there. Games 2 and 3 just neck and neck.
Amazing stuff from both teams, but it will be TOX 3-0 to end day 2 in St. Louis. There were some great moments.